Welcome back to Class Culture number 27, Vlogtober. Let me see why I didn't have a background. Did I have a background? Yeah, there it was. For some reason, I saw a black screen. Welcome back, Hearts of Gold. Vlogtober is almost at an end. Here we are at 27, and I have a big old smile on my face. Thank you so much for enjoying them. I see you, boo. Thank you. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about taxidermy, Robert Ripley, and wet specimen. Now, just hang on. That's what this background has to do with. Wet specimen. That's what we're talking about. Now we're getting into the area of actual oddities and curiosities, even though we have explained everything under the sun that has to do with science and Halloween and culture and this and that and that and this. I mean, I can't even, I was looking at my playlist. I can't even figure out how I did it. I'm just super happy, and Vlogtober is fire. I suggest every content creator, maybe next year, get on board. Now, I'm going to do, I thought about it, because we're going to do a cosplay for, what do they call it? Vlogmas. And then next year, I'm going to do Easter tide for April, Easter, because every month I want to have something like this, like a series. And I was thinking, what? Because I'm making new friends in the Vlogtober sphere. And they're doing other things that have absolutely nothing to do with Halloween. Some people are going shopping, Let me, if you go to your YouTube, I'm on my phone. And if you put Vlogtober, you have to spell it just like that. 2021, and I've gotten some ideas. I might just do uploads next year. They're just talking about anything they want to talk about. People are doing purging, families are getting together, people are opening up boxes, people are doing decorations. Some people are talking about shopping, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe next year I can just give you my regular life stuff. It's just interesting how people do whatever they, now that was my chair, how people do whatever they want to do with Vlogtober. I said Vlogmas, I know I did. But yeah, I'm just looking at it, I'm like, ooh. So we're in there, it's a lot of people doing it. So I remember the first time I was doing it, we were in there. I have my oddity and curiosity, a thumbnail, but yeah, it's probably, lost in the sauce now. But yeah, because it's the end of the month. And I just appreciate you. You got crafters, you got, pardon me, I just put on my, diffuser, and I have lots of essential oil, and I think I overdid it, but yeah, that's it's choking me. But yeah, what else? We got people walking animals. We got people cooking. So maybe Vlogtober next year will be something similar instead of informational. Look, I needed this for me because I wanted one place to come and get all this good information. But yeah, take a look, Vlogtober 2021. And you can also put in, so you don't isolate it to just 2021, just put in Vlogtober, and it's crazy. You get everything under the sun, and I love it. I love it. You have a new house, Vlogtober. You have a cities. That sounds fun. Like maybe tour the city. People decorating pumpkins. Looks like people are on a tour. My day in my life. What's going on? It's fun. Somebody's got new nails and new gym shoes. Okay, let me stop looking. Ooh, what is that? Oh, look. Look, 9 years ago, Vlogtober, day 23, somebody went to Starbucks, road rage, and tea for two. Okay, so that was 9 years ago. Okay, so I'm inspired for next year because somebody asked me, they were like, well, why aren't you going to do it next year? I'm like, because it's a lot of work. They were like, well, just don't do that version. Do like every day a 5-minute upload or something like that. I was like, yeah, you're right. Okay, so I'll decide, because this year for Vlogmas, we're going to do cosplay. I have to work hard and focus. I have only like 15 costumes, and it's like, oh my God, this is getting intense. So I don't know. I might just do some behind the screen. I don't know if that's cheating or not, but we're going to talk about cosplay and its background and everything. So maybe I can squeeze 5 days. So let's just add 20 more days. That's 15 costumes, 5 more days. And then I still have 10 more days left. So I don't know. I don't want to spend a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But it'll happen. I have masks. You know what I mean? I have decorations, things like that. So yeah, it should be fun. All right, focus. So yeah, we're getting into the creepy and the strange now. We're going to talk about taxidermy. Now, if anyone doesn't know what that is, yes, I'm going to share everything. All of this information is down below in the description box. This is a bit of taxidermy. Okay, remember we talked about? There you go, the Kraken, right? Yeah. So yeah, there's a bit, while I read the list, you can have that to look at. I love the wax on there. Taxidermy. Now I'm going to take my time. Entomological. Taxidermy. Oddities. Anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic. Victorian. Taxidermy. Weird taxidermy. Animal skeleton mount. And that will look like this. And then we have animal in a jar. You just saw that. Formaldehyde, formalin. Now, let's slow down. Diaphonization. Trypsin, wet specimen. And that was just what you saw, a wet specimen. Ooh, that was all nasty. Visual right there. Cracking, right? And then we have Robert Ripley, and then Ripley's Believe It or Not. And then we have something called an auditorium. And then that's it. And then tomorrow and the following day, we're going to actually look at oddities and curiosities. And then the next thing you know, it's going to be what? Halloween. So I'm super excited. And I have lots of shows. So don't worry, I'll catch up. I'm just, doing the checkerboard. But I'm not sure when you'll see this one. But anyway, it's been fun. It's been fun. And it never stops because you can always come back to these playlists and enjoy. And then how many Webbies do we have? Let me separate them. You know how I like to do back here. And yes, I restarted my computer. It always wants to start up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. No extras. It is what it is. We're going to look at each and every one. So I'm going to less story time and get down with the get down. This is also taxidermy. Okay. Victorian taxidermy displays. And if you don't, weren't into the 4-legged type, the birds were my favorite, Okay, so let's get on with the show. Yes. And that was a big old banner. So we'll look at it one more time. Vlogtober 2021, Oddities and Curiosities, Taxidermy, Robert Ripley, and Wet Specimen, number 27. Okay, we can take that away because it's really, really big. Okay, let's do it. So it's a fun subject. I've always been fascinated by science and all the good things we're going to see. So let's get started. Let's get started. All right. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, all that goodness. So let's go with taxidermy first. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. And I like being down here. There you go. All right. So that's a cool picture, right? And when you look up taxidermy, it's kind of boring. So I left it here. And there are still taxidermists in the Bay Area. I thought that was fascinating. Maybe one day we'll get an interview or something like that. Okay. What is a taxidermist? Taxidermy is the art of preserving, arranging, and displaying animal bodies. Sorry, I have to undo my jacket there. So do I have my libation? Okay. I'll get in a minute. The art of preserving, arranging, and displaying animal bodies so that they can be hung or displayed, like we just saw, on a hunter's wall or set up in a natural history museum. And we'll talk about those. If not the next day, I forget which one it is. We're going to talk about that. A person who practices taxidermy is called a taxidermist. Okay. So, and it's, by the way, it's against the law to taxidermy a human being. Let's just get that out of the way. It's also the art. So it is an art. Okay. Preserving an animal's body or insect, whatever, via mounting or an armature. Armature. Put my glasses on. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Armature. I think that means like in situ. Armature. It means in a framework or something sculpted. An armature. Okay. Or stuffing. So that's what I'm used to. You know, like seeing, like we saw. Look here. Let me show you. That's stuffed. Okay. All right. And this is a mount. Okay. And this is a display. Okay. And this is a wet specimen. Okay. So there we go. And that's kind of it for that. You know, it wasn't nothing fancy. But then when you look at images, that's when you get all the oddities, curiosities, and the weirdness, and I wouldn't want that in my house. We're hunter-gatherers. It is what it is, and we come from a long line of, cultures that wanted to display and trophies and things like that. So that's where the hunters, big game, and all of that, rugs, we know what that is. I don't even want to really focus on that, but that is what they do for a living, and they still exist today. There's all types of rules, trust and believe. You can't just go killing things and wanting to mount it and it will be okay. No, you can go like on eBay, Etsy, antique stores, auctions, and buy things that already exist without going and killing nature. I'm just saying real quick, and people still hunt to this day. But yeah, I mean, this is that's crazy. It's like huge. It's in a museum. So when you look up taxidermy, look at images, and at the top it goes by creature. And then you can go look at whatever you want to look at. Okay, I'm not here to discuss the ethical stance. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be careful, but yeah, here's someone working their craft. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. And if you want to get into oddities and curiosities, like this is an oddity. A curiosity. It's kind of weird. I don't want to do really creepy or scary because then it'll get weird. Now here's a beautiful, beautiful fire screen. Unfortunately, those are hummingbirds and they're all dead. But yeah, it's still beautiful. So, But yeah, I know it's a tough conversation. The beauty of it, mhm, to turn a phrase on its head, is a lot of these specimens have gone extinct, and in science and in museums, they've collected them, or people have given them over to science or colleges as collections, and they can study extinct beings. That's the only good thing I can pull out, y'all. Sorry, but here is like a workshop, and they're working on that fox there. Some people still do it. Don't ask me. I've never seen them in action, but like here is, an oddity, because it's the actual skull encased in the skin and some of the organs. Some people like that stuff. It ain't me. I'm just saying there it is. The birds, I think, are my favorite. I don't want to fish on the wall. I mean, really. But, it is what it is. It's a thing in Europe and in America, but not so much lately, because, how many, you kill the deer and you make venison or whatever, and then how many heads you're going to have in your house? Maybe you can sell it. I don't know. We're just having the discussion. Mhm. So what's next? Okay, let me say it right. Entomology, taxidermy, oddities. Okay, I have to slow down. It's a fascinating subject, but we've talked about so many things and animal spirits and things like that. Let's talk about actually what happens after they bring it home, eat it, scrape the insides out, put it on your back if it's a cheetah, uh, use the head for whatever and the horns for whatever, the coins and the necklace, and then they do it over and over and over again. Eventually, they would decorate with the head as a trophy. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Okay. Oh, let me go down here, because that wasn't a definition, child. Yeah, I had to be it took me a minute to gather everything I needed. Let me see, because now they're just talking about, okay, here. I thought this was good just to talk about it. And then we'll go up. Ethically sourced taxidermy. So there is a phrase, it is a modern time. People are aware and we understand. However, it's still a thing. Okay? So, and I don't know it's going to be hard to say it was ethical like in the 1800s. It is what it is. It ain't. So let's look at the images. So this is our, butterflies, buggies. That's so nasty, a grasshopper there. But this is good for science to study because it's there. They don't have to go hunting out in the woods somewhere. Here is a nasty collection. Oddities Flea Market in Los Angeles. There you go. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a whole movement. It's a thing. Collectors are insane. There are collections. People pay thousands and thousands of dollars for, let's just say, if that was an extinct specimen. It's a thing. It really is. Then you have the oddities of the deformities, and that's a wet specimen. But yeah, it's a lot going on. I'm not trying to be too freaky or weird. People try to get you. Here is a buggy bug that let's just use our imagination. If it was extinct, this would be something very treasured. Okay. Ew. And then I start getting crawly. You know what I mean? It's like you start itching. But that's beautiful, isn't it? It's a moth. Very decorative. Okay. And then you have them that are encased. It's an interesting field. Now this was weird. I wouldn't want that. I would rather have it in the jar. That's a little creepy with the eyeballs. Yeah, that's a little creepy. I wouldn't want that staring at me. No, ma'am. No, sir. This is beautiful. Okay. Not so much for the creature, but it is what it is. You can buy specimens from Etsy and eBay. Like I said, auction houses, antique stores. You can find them and call ahead of time and just ask them and ask around. And trust me, they are a small community. They know everything about everything and where to get anything. I used to get an antique newspaper. I might re-up that. Let me remind myself. I'm gonna write it down and start getting back on that. Give me a second. And it used to be delivered every week. I think I let it just run out. But yeah, I want to get that again because it talks about the local antique stores. Now we are at the back end of the pandemic. So yeah, I'm sure they all lost everything, or they took all of their collections and put it in their basement somehow, and maybe they're going to open up again one day. But yeah, like this is cool. Okay, so I'm just introducing new things here, and everything is always down below in the description box. Now let's look into weird Victorian taxidermy. Okay, now this is good. Oops, didn't we just look at this? No, did I go out of order? Okay, this is next. Sorry. Anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic Victorian taxidermy. Okay, that's a mouthful, but we did it. Because I wanted to get into the oddity portion of the situation. So yeah, and everything, like I said before, is down below. Right? And it was such a thing in Victorian time. It was a thing. Is the practice of taking the dead body of an animal preserved through the art of taxidermy and displaying it in such a way as to endow it with human characteristics. For example, a preserved specimen may be dressed like a human and placed in a furnished tableau. Okay, is that the right way to say it? I just say like they're playing cards or whatever. Let's make sure that's the right way to say it. So let me see. You know what's going to happen. They're going to take me to where I don't want to go. Okay, nope. Tableau. Okay, tableau. So let's read it. In a furnished tableau. Okay. It's a scene showing, for example, events and people from history that is presented by a group or actors who do not move or speak. A tableau. There you go. Well, that rhymed. So we're going to keep that. So it's a tableau, meaning they're just all sitting there playing cards or whatever they're doing. Let me look closely. It looks like they just at a table having tea. So let's look at the images. This is the oddities and curiosities of it all. I mean, it's very odd. Now, some of it's kind of weird and deformed. I'm not going to showcase that, but you can look at it. Here are two squirrels boxing. It's just people collect this stuff, you guys. It's worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay? So tableau. That's a tableau. One is playing cards, or they both playing cards, but one is smoking a pipe, child. Here's two bunnies did the bunnies die at the same time? You know what I'm saying? Those are my questions. Now here's a bunny dancing. Really? So yeah, these are kind of fun. It's harmless. It's fun. It was a Victorian thing. Who knows why? The Victorians were weird. They went from the other taxidermy with taste to they got jokes. Now this is crazy. Look at it. It's huge. It's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing in a case. And somebody got paid for that. It's a diorama. Hmm. It's crazy. I mean, this is, I'm not even going to show that. I don't like how they did that. But let's find another one. Because I was looking at these. I was like, this is so weird. They're playing music. Now that's kind of small. You would have to hit the link on that. Very odd. So here's some oddities and curiosities. Very interesting. I want to one day in the future and make it part of class culture is do miniatures. I won't tell you of what. I'll just save that. But yeah, I'm fascinated with miniatures. And there's another two squirrels playing cards. It's just really weird. It's kind of cute. All right. So now weird. Yeah. If that wasn't weird enough, right? But then I had to use the correct terms. And then we'll move on into weird. It's interesting to look at. It's interesting. You know, I'm trying to see. Okay, here. They said, as an art form, taxidermy exploded once pioneers such as Potter, not related to Beatrix, began composing scenes in which animals took on human, let's just say, a tableau, in human tableau or human behavior. But yeah, the Victorians were really weird and quirky. I mean, British people are still kind of weird and quirky, and that's why I love them. They're cool with me. But yeah, the Victorian era, though, was the golden age of taxidermy, when stuffed birds beneath glass domes, for instance, became commonplace in parlors. Okay, so it was just a thing, that like the hunting, we were referring to the royalty and how they would go hunting and fox, whatever they call it, ing, and all of that other stuff. But yeah, it just became a thing in Victoria because all of the wealth and the boredom and you know the the lodges and the earls and the dukes and the kings. I mean, they did it for folly instead of necessity, right? And these are some weird things. I'm not putting all of that up there, but it's weird and you can look at it. And they are considered curiosities and oddities because now they exist, but sometimes people like to sell stuff. Shout out to the Antique Roadshow. I don't know if you love that show. I know I do. I even look at the reruns of it because it's just my thing. Now they do have hybrid, road, and fantasy. You can look at those because some of them just freak me the freak out. This is what people think of when they think of taxidermy. Okay? So that is down below as well. So what's next? Animal skeleton mount. And we do have websites. That's why I'm kind of moving right along. All right. I mean, is this something you're into? I do it for Halloween only. Just that's it. Just Halloween only. I don't want to decorate with it. Okay? So there are still, as you can see, businesses in town. And, I don't need to explain it, but I think there was a nice definition. Skull mounts, sometimes referred to as European mounts, Western skull mounts, or Western mounts. Okay, so they all have different terms, antlers, it is what it is. But let's go back to the top and look at some images. Some people are just into this. They can't help themselves. I don't judge them. It's weird, it's creepy, but it's an oddity and people are into it. They buy it. It's worth, like, look at this one. A horse skeleton is worth $16,000. It's scientific. Okay? Look at this stuff. A pair of leopard. It's a pair of leopard skulls. I'm sure it's an S there. for $3,000. So if you didn't believe me, now you do. A dog skeleton is worth $3,000. It's crazy, right? Now, I don't know if that was a real dinosaur, but there it is. It's a thing. That's creeping me out. Now, those are oddities. So here it says a horse running. Interesting, right? So, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, and there's lots of money to be had with it. It was something that just grew out of hunter-gatherer, sportsman, whatever, collector, barterer, and it's still a thing today. Okay? So let's go to animal skeleton mount. Let me make sure. No, we just did that. Let's go to animal in a jar. Okay? So let's do that now. So we saw examples. Woo, I have lemon grass and peppermint, and it is lulling me to sleep. I have to focus. It smells so good. I think I do like 5 drops of each. I like sweet at night, and during the day, like earthy, like tea tree and eucalyptus. Don't ask me why. It just makes me feel better. So, animal in the jar. Okay, some of these might be kind of weird. If you're going to get upset, if it's going to trigger you, look away. Some of it is icky and ghoulish and creepy, but it is what it is. All right. So, and that's an oddity as well. You know, it's creepy. Remember, like in that film, like in Jurassic Park, when she got real close to a wet specimen and she thought it was inside the jar, it was on the outside of the jar. Well, some of them were on the inside, but she got spooked because he scared her. He was hiding. He was in disguise. He wanted to eat her. So, yeah. Now, these are just craft ideas as well. And I hope you are doing crafts with your little people and your big people like Gigi Darling for Halloween. I try to make one craft every holiday. I try. But yeah, we'll see. Now, to me, it just came so fast. Do you feel like it came fast? I know I do. It's here. It's crazy. So yeah. And then we are going to look at some webbies, but you can get all other information regarding a wet specimen. Okay. Now, how do they store it? Like, what are they floating in? Let's look up 3 or actually 4 things. And then we'll actually look at wet specimen. Well, I guess I could have let's do wet specimen in front. Yeah, because that makes more sense. Then we'll do what they're floating in after. So that was animal in a jar, right? So paste. Yeah, that makes better sense. Let me correct this. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, I'm glad I looked at the list instead of what came up next. All right. Wet specimens are fascinating, aren't they? They sure are. Okay. There are different things that can be made into wet specimens. The most popular are fetal animals, meaning animals that were not even born yet, organs, and other stuff. Okay? They are for sale. It costs a lot of money. There's a wide range of preserved animals in jars, primarily in the solutions, and we're going to talk about the solutions next. Okay? So let's go to images. And there you go. A zillion. Ooh, oh, nasty bat. And that's where I got that picture with the Kraken, or its mini cousins, or teeny tiny cousins. Mini as in M-I-N-I. Because the Kraken took down what? Sailing ships. Look at those cute little seahorses. I love seahorses. That's why you see one right up in the corner, and she's pink. Yeah, it's a girl. It's a girl. Okay. So yeah, just oddity. People collect this stuff. Museums have them, science have them, laboratories have them, colleges have them, private collectors have them, royalty in their attics have them. It was a thing. The turn of the century, the 1800s, and the turn of the century to the 1900s, adventurers, scientists, all that was a thing, to brag about your specimens, or if you were a scientist, or even this was your hobby. If you were an adventurer, you came back with specimens and things. Weird, right? Ew, ew, ooh. And I sometimes I get creeped out, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll take it slow. Here's an old picture of they're looking at a human. Yeah, unfortunately. hmm Yeah. Some of it is proppy too, as in, Hollywood, they'll prop stuff. It's just rubber. They're not real humans. Some people are disturbed by it, but it's just an interesting topic, and we were going to hit on it. The weird scientist in his laboratory. He always has a wet specimen collection, right? And you can make them with like plastic animals and stuff. You don't have to, like when you're decorating for Halloween, they don't have to be the real thing. I'm not going to go out and kill 3 octopus. No, but I will make old nasty prop. You know, you can pull it off. You can pull it off. Now you might go on eBay and procure something, purchase it. You can even rent them. Like if you're building a film set and it's an era piece and it's Victorian and you want that in the background, you can get it. Or you can, get old plastic, fantastic cat skeleton and just make them out. I would spray it white, and try to make it as authentic as possible. And you can go on like Amazon or craft places, like, I don't know, I guess Michael's or places like that, and make a faux one. You don't have to go out and kill birds and butterflies. It's really easy now to attain like set design stuff. You don't have to go out and physically kill things anymore. And they already exist because somebody probably sold it from the great grand Earl Daddy collection from the UK. You can definitely find it. So how do they store it? Some come in formaldehyde, and we know what formaldehyde is. It's a strong smelling, colorless gas used in making building material and all that other stuff. But you can preserve things in it as well. I don't think they use this as much, but it could be. You can use it. It can be used. But, it just depends. Yes, that's a brain. That's why I say I'm just going to slowly go by. I don't want to freak anybody out. I don't know why they're showing a lady getting a perm, but it is there. And it is toxins, so be careful. Do not handle it in any way, fashion, or form. You should be a professional. And then it was interesting topics regarding that's an old-fashioned bottle, an antique bottle, vintage, whatever word you want to use. I used to collect vintage bottles, but the professionals know what to do. If you are not a professional, do not do it. Just don't do it. Now, they also use formalin, okay, to store it in the jars. Like if I wanted to do this and have authentic specimens, I would contact the taxidermist, okay? Say I want fresh specimens. I went out and killed 4 squirrel, and they would, okay, let me do my job. Or contact farmers if I wanted baby pigs, ask them for the corpse or whatever. I don't think they would kill it. They would say, okay, I'll let you know if one dies or something. I don't know. I'm just making it up as I go because I don't think people are out there killing baby pigs. I can't handle it. But yeah. Now, is this the same thing? No, it's different. Okay. It is water and a solution of formaldehyde. Okay. A pungent, meaning it don't smell right, with the chemical that and that. And it's used as an antiseptic, disinfectant, and especially today as a fixative for histology, the study of tissues under the microscope. Okay. So it's a thing. Scientists use it every day, and that's what it's for. Okay. And it's a preservative in funeral homes and medical labs. Okay. And I love this, the formulas. Oh, I get downs with the formulas and the scientists and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I love that. And that is, let me see, try not to close windows. Let me organize things because now I get a little freaked out if I get too much stuff on here. Give me a second. Where is my oddities? Where is it? Because I want to, okay, here it is. Good grief. All right. So, give me a second. Okay, the structure. What do they call it? Yeah, it's just called the formula. That's all. Yeah. I love, like, they show the compounds. They show remember we talked about the elements. They show everything in there and how they work together. Oh, I love stuff like that. Now, I didn't want to make it too fancy, so I didn't want to bore you or, talk about it. But yeah, it's fascinating stuff. I did want to talk about it, but I don't want to make it the topic. You know what I mean? But yeah, what is its uses? Oh, I forgot to put this part in here. Sorry. Give me a second. There we go. You check that out while I put this in order. Where do it? I should put it here because we got two more things. And paste. Give me a second. Now, why is this important, Gigi? Okay. Well, if you're working on a film set or a project or a collection, things like that, and you are responsible for buying it and paying for it and ordering it and things like that, you have to know exactly what it's in there. You have to explain it. You have to know what to get. It ain't water. You have to use the proper things or order the proper things to pull it off. Okay. And we would definitely hire a taxidermist. We're not going to do it ourselves. But here it says okay. I'm looking over here at the formula. Formaldehyde. Okay. When dissolved in water, it's called formalin. So formaldehyde and water together is called formalin. It's commonly used as industrial disinfectant and as a preservative in funeral homes and in medical labs. It can also be used as a preservative in some foods. Did you know that? So read those labels. But it's also an antiseptic and medicines and cosmetics. Be careful. Or, I guess it might be a good thing because I don't know, if it's on the lips, then that's good. They'll be young forever. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just be careful because sometimes it might be toxic as well. So I had to put this down below just so we can learn some things new. And scientists love stuff like this. So if you're doing mad scientist Halloween, let's just say theme, then this will always reside in this video when I come back to it and go, ooh, I can make an old nasty. Now that can just be a jar, fancy jar in water. When you make the evil scientist, laboratory, secret dungeon, or whatever you come up with. So yeah. Okay. All right. What's next? I just hate when people say, well, what's in there? Oh no. Now you know. I can't stand it. Well, what is he stuffed with? A cotton. Well, what is that called? Taxidermy. Well, that don't mean nothing. That ain't worth nothing. Oh, that's worth $3,000. Well, that wasn't important. Well, yes, it is, because maybe 4 of those birds are extinct, and now scientists have a fully beautiful, preserved, specimen. Let's keep it together. This is class culture. That's why we do what we do over here. So, what is the next word? I'm going to struggle for these next 2 words, and then we're going to bring it home. But that's okay. I'm doing it, so you won't be afraid to do it. How about that? A diaphonization. Diaphonization, okay? Also known as clearing and staining, is a staining technique used on animal specimens that first rendered the body, when we're going to talk about it. Okay? You can see through them, just like the up in the corner there, the seahorse. That's an oddity. Now that's cool. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I'd rather look at that than the furry and the creepy body and the eyeballs, and they're looking like they look in nature. No, I can get down with this one. It's okay. Yeah, it's a dead bird, but it's kind of pretty. And there is our beautiful seahorse. And that's when we're going to talk about Ripley's in a minute. But yeah, that's when, just think, well, I'm not going to do the baby, but just think back when, not now. There's another baby. We can't be doing that. Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, there it is. Okay, maybe we should stop. Yeah, maybe we should stop. Okay, there. But yeah, because that's kind of weird. And at the top, you can get all the categories, all of them. Okay. But think back when, 16, 17, 18, this was fascinating, right? There's a display called Bodies in Vegas every month. I'm sorry, I was obsessed with it for like 6 months in a row, and then I got over it. Looking at the bodies, man, that was like, it was crazy. And I was, got my massage therapist license and all that other stuff. But yeah, we went there. They took us there for the first time. It was actually a project. But then after the class, I was like, no, I got to go back without teachers and students and just on my own. And you could just stand there and stare. The human body is fascinating. So this is like my get down now. Diaphonization. I'm like, that, I love it. And it makes them invisible. I'm here for it. It's kind of cosplay, isn't it? Kind of like Gigi. So yeah, that's down below too. So what is the next thing? Yeah, I'd rather look at that than the other stuff, because it was kind of weird. And what else we got? Okay. Trypsin, okay, is an enzyme that aids with digestion. Now, in order to make them invisible, this is in that process, and this comes from your intestine. So through science, through divination, through experiment, through time, through philosophy, through medicine, they found this enzyme that helps make that, see up there in the corner, that seahorse invisible, and then they make it rainbow. And that's where they found it. I said, oh, that's interesting. I want to study that more. So I made it a part of this video. And it comes from our intestine. It can also be made from fungus, plants, bacteria. Science is awesome. I mean, it would take forever to discuss all the branches of scientists, but it's fascinating. Okay, it's crazy, crazy good, right? So yeah, it's science is awesome, and taxidermy and all that other stuff falls in the realm of science. Now let's get back to the oddities of it. The oddities of it. So let me get rid of these because we don't need them no more. Because I want to show you that. I want to put that turtle back up there. I do. Give me a second. Might as well do it in real time. Because it is so cute. Yeah, that's my new jam. I got to get in. I got to get down with the get down. I love it. I said, "Ooh, that's something new I want to look into." Now they are deceased. They're not walking around planet Earth looking like that. He not in flux no more. No, okay. He is just a specimen now. But remember when we were talking about deep, mysterious, odd sea creatures that have invisible bodies and stuff? So that's a vein of research I'm going to go into and see what that's all about. But look at that. It's kind of beautiful. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, next. All right. Let's talk about Robert Ripley. Now, have you heard of Ripley's Believe It or Not? Ripley's Believe It or Not is nothing like the one in Vegas. Miss me. That one is just, it's not like it used to be. Put it that way. It's not like it used to be. It's less ghouly and shocky, and it's family friendly now. They should have like an adult version, and everything is, what do they call it? PC, politically correct. You know, I like the oddity scary. They should have like a vampire, one where we all go travel and see what's in there. But yeah, let's learn about the man first. And we have websites too. So hang on. So his name was, and I probably need to take the banner down. Yeah, it's too big. Okay. All right. His name was Leroy Robert Ripley. He was an American cartoonist. So he was an artist, an entrepreneur, an amateur anthropologist. Yeah, I'm saying it right. Right? Anthropologist, yes, who is known for creating Ripley's Believe It or Not newspaper panel series. So he was a cartoonist. He worked for a publication. And we all know that people like to give commentary. And he was just quirky like that. So he made his own fortune just by creating this Ripley's Believe It or Not. And he also had a television show and a radio show. And it featured odd facts from around the world. And he was born, and it's still a place, Santa Rosa, California. Okay? So, very, very interesting person. Okay? And he is buried there. And I do plan to go visit his grave one day. But I'll let you know. But yeah, we're going to leave it at that because we have a lot of webbies. Okay. And if you want to look at some pictures, websites, that's what I mean when I say that. You get everything. And here he is working on his famous, now that's a collectible, very, very, very famous article, Ripley's Believe It or Not. And that, well, some of it was showmanship. And yes, we're going to talk about in another episode coming up. It's either the next one or the one after that. We're going to talk about circuses and museums and things like that. Trust me. But yeah, he was an adventurer in a sense, but he also was a collector. And after a while, people started sending him things, and he drew it and reported on it, and it made him a very famous, very famous. And back then, you got to remember, these were like superstars back then. It had nothing to do with looks or anything, talent as far as entertaining you, but he was used his talent to entertain you, make lots of money. Okay. And then you can remember, well, I hope you remember just by learning from history, not that you were there, but television was a new thing. Airplanes were a new thing. Trains was, a thing. Radio, all of these things. Here he is with people from different countries. That was just a thing. Yeah, very interesting. People would send him stuff. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. So let's look up Ripley's Believe It or Not, and then Auditorium. And then we'll be done with that. Okay. It's a very cool read. There's biographies and things like that. We just don't want to get too tied up with it. We got to keep it pushing here. And these are for you to come back, go down in the description boxes downtown and hit links. Okay. Now they're all over the world, child. All over the world. Ripley, Believe It or Not. To me, they're not like they used to be. When they, like in the 70s and the 80s, man, they were just the best. Now they're kind of, like I said, PC, politically correct. Some people are like, "Ooh, it's shocking, it's disgusting, they need to ban it." It's like, well, that's why people would go there, to see the two-headed something or other, or the big fat person, or whatever it was, in memoriam. I'm sure that was a real person, and they put a cast on their body. Here's their sharp mouth, tallest man, and you could stand next to him. And it's just fun. Oddities and curiosities are fun. I like going into old broken down museums. I really do. Some of the buildings were fun, and we'll talk about Guinness Book of World Records coming up. That's coming up too. Not in this episode, but yeah, we're going to talk about that. And it's either the next one or the one after that. I can't remember. It's a lot going on in my mind. It's fun. It's good, clean fun. Go have some. Now, what is an auditorium? Well, that's what he called it. Okay. Odd things. Auditorium. Okay. And some of them still exist. Some of them are long gone. Okay. And we're also going to talk about a little in the upcoming episode about world fairs and things like that. So what are some of the images? I love visiting old, weird, off the road, Route 66 museums and things. Just odd stuff. I love it. It gives me my life. How tall are you? That was supposed to be the world's tallest man. Some of them, there's an old Ripley's, but believe it or not, they made it look like a Egyptian, temple. Okay. Oh, they said that was the first one. So you can hit that and visit it. We got Webbies. It's okay. All right. So some of them are long gone. Some of them are still hanging around. I'm sure they're closed, unfortunately, because of the pandemic. But yeah, we're going to talk about some of these links here. So hang in. It's a lot of them, but it's okay. We can make it through a cute hour and a half. So yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about this subject. So while I put the first one up, make sure it's going to be up there to entertain you. And then I'll put the rest of them, and then we'll be done. Animals in jars. So is this something that you have ever been fascinated about? Is it something that you saw and wondered what they were, what was keeping them in there, what if it was a formaldehyde, what it was, what's the purpose, the origin, the why. I remember in high school we dissected animals, all of that stuff. It was fascinating. I mean, I didn't want to do it for a living, but it's fascinating. So let me put the rest of this. And it's also good, like I said, go to the store, get some plastic animals. Um, don't spray them in the house, like spray paint them like different colors and things. And because you don't want a blue blizzard, you want to try to make it look realistic. And you can make like Halloween backdrops and stuff, So yeah. So what does this talk? This just show me it's a really fun website, and they talk about why are they kept in jars? Glass jars were very sensible storage, as they are see-through, so it's easy for us to look in and see the animal inside. This means that all of the curious visitors can have a nose around and can inspect all of the different animals without having to get them out. And the round ones, you can turn it around and see it all like in 3D. That's old nasty sharp. But and then they talk about, what goes in the jar with liquids. We already talked about that, didn't we? We sure did. So that's down below. So what's the next thing? Yeah, I'm going to whiz through these because, why do I have both? I got both the same thing. No, I don't. Yes, I did. That's okay. Good. One less because that's a lot. Okay, give me a second. Here we go. And then I can get rid of this one. This was a really cool website. No sponsorships, no nothing. I found it. We're sharing it. We have it forever. You can rent preserved mounts, okay? Aquatic life, taxidermy, framed and unframed insects, skulls, meteorites, fossil, home decor, clothing. Look, domes. So if there's something you want to get into, there you go. Look at it's $600. So miss me, it's a lot of money. I mean, you might not want it. It might not be your cup of tea. I'm just saying, it's money. It's expensive. It's nothing to poo-poo or look down at. It's a thing. Now, I know I have maybe a couple hunters in my family. It's not my thing. I've never been. I'm not shooting no animals. I don't want to be there when it's done. I don't want none of that. It's not my thing. I can't do it. But I know people that do it still to this day. Native people do it because that's the way of their life. And it's good that countries and governments allow them to do that because that is how they exist. That is how they feed themselves and clothe themselves. And I get it. It is ancient as mankind. I'm not hating on nothing. It's just not my cup of tea. Look at that silver fox worth $1,500. Crazy, right? So look at the butterflies. Now let's go up here. I want to look at some of the like I can put other things under domes. Well, there's one. Oh, I thought they were just selling the domes. Okay. Let's look at meteorites. Like I have some domes that I put decorative things under. Wow, there's some meteorites if y'all want to buy some. Look at the fossil bison tooth necklace. What? There's a fossil. Okay. Now those are cool. That's affordable. Whalebone ear, dinosaur bone. There you go. If that's something you want to get into. Okay. That's interesting. Shark tooth, $79. Well, you could probably get it less than that at seashore type of places. But you can get some fossils. Now this is fascinating to me. So I will be coming back here and looking at that. I won't take up any more of your time. Okay, what's next? Okay, so we talked about formaldehyde. I also supplied a Webby from the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, and they give you all the details about formaldehyde. We are not going to go through that. It is down below. We already talked about it. However, if you want to investigate, let me pull this up, what medicines, what cosmetics, and other consumer products such as dishwashing liquid and fabric softeners and fertilizers, be careful. And guess what? Cigarette smoke. Okay. It's not good. It's not good. So that's down below as well. I'm trying to help the culture. I am. I'm trying. And then we talk about the trypsin. I think that's how it is. Or trypsin. Sorry. And there is the formula again. Okay, so that's down below. And I know you guys have children that are in school, that are learning. You might be going back to college. I'm trying to get my master's, that type of thing. So yeah, here they talk about the enzyme and where it's found in your body and what it does. And they actually use that. And that's, you can see the category of toxin. It's interesting. And then they talk about what it does. It makes them invisible. That's my explanation. Okay. Now what's next? All right. How to care. Yeah, I think I moved on from the chemicals. I'm sure I did. Give me a second. Or did I? Wait a minute. Something is out of place. So that one is out of place. You can still look at it. I'm not quite sure what you're looking at. Hold on. Because I'm still talking about the stuff. Am I? Let me see what you're looking at. How to care. I'm just making sure I'm not deleting stuff, you guys. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, no, that's fine. Should it go there? Yeah, it's going to go there, I guess. We're just going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. Okay. How to care for your taxidermy. So guess what? Just because it's new, it's hanging on the wall, or it was your grandpapa's or whatever, you have to maintain it. So that's why I was like, nope, I'll just do pictures in old nasty, art project. And why would you buy that stuff? It gets dusty, it gets dirty. A tick might live off of it. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea, but it's people are into that. You got to take it in to get it refurbished every once in a while, and they are hunting trophies. So I had to add that because they give you advice on how to take care of it. You dust it, you clean it once a year, you touch up the features. Don't use chemical based on it. Don't wash him in the bathtub. Don't expose your mount to too much smoke. That was weird because I was like, that's all the men used to do in those old nasty lodges and gentlemen's clubs, smoke cigarettes and stuff. Don't touch it because you have oil on your hand. You don't want it in a very hot place either. So they do give good advice. It was fascinating. I mean, if you're going to study something and, go all the way, that's what we do here in class culture. We bring it all the way home. We talk about everything, and you are well-rounded and educated over here. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to give you something to look at while I look at the other things. Ooh, that's fascinating. Or pull up the other things for you. Dying the Dead. Ooh, how exciting. California has some of the best museums, you guys. So when my little guy gets a little older, we're going to have so much fun. But I'm thinking in the meantime, between time, because I know I can't handle that and show you guys stuff. I think I'm going to visit them first, make an old nasty list, and bring you guys along. Yes. I wanted to do a back to school series. I'm like, well, it's still the pana, you know what he? No, sorry, I gotta focus. And I was like, nah, I'll say that for next year because I'm sure everything will be in order now in the 2022s. And then he'll be closer to that school age. So it'll make more sense. So, yeah, I took those down. If anybody saw a couple of those videos in the lineup, I just kind of privated them and we'll revisit that. We'll revisit that. So while you look at that, give me a second. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then there's, after we look at these 2 or 3, we have 6 more. Okay, I'm just getting super organized. So let me take down the banner. Isn't that interesting? That is so pretty to me. I don't know. I'm obsessed with it now. Right? Diaphonized snake. Okay, we just learning stuff new over here. Yeah, but California is a great state to have raised kids. It really is. So you see someone's collection. You know what's coming next in the future. I gotta get at least 2 or 3 specimens. I have to. I can't help myself now. It's something new. It's something interesting. I like smart things. So here, the artful. Oops. Are you looking? Yeah. Are you looking? Are you looking? Yeah, the artful science of diaphonization. Oh, I love that cap. That it just gives me my life. Okay, that's kind of weird, but I love that wax cap. Oh, you know what's gonna happen next? Do you know what's gonna happen next? Do you know what's gonna happen next? Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's kind of a weird. I would have put a cute, I don't know, seahorse or something. Yeah, the frog don't do it for me. I have no idea what that is. Is that a squid? Yes, a squid. They squeeze them in there, don't they? Okay, lots of commercials. And they talk about it, and you get all types of information. Look at them stalking us. We were just finished doing Secret Society. So there you go. So what's next? Yeah, this is the fun part. We're just going through, and everything is down below in the description box. Why are these animals pink? So Ripley's.com. They talk about it. Isn't that cool? It's just, I'm fascinated. Sorry if you're bored with it, but I'm not. Oh, isn't that cute? And you can see through them. I think it's fascinating. There she is. It's a girl. It's a girl. Here, can you see it all in one? Yep. It's a girl. That is so beautiful to me. I don't know. Ask me why. I think we all have a little oddity and curiosity in us. Yes, we do. All right. So let's do it. Let's get it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm looking. Give me a second. I'm changing the order of something. Here we go. So you can look at this while I pull up the other ones. I'm going to try to put all 5 up there so I don't have to keep stopping. He was a fascinating person. I'm not here to give a bio. I want you to definitely take the next step and read about him because he was a famous person. And he did travel the world. You see all of his stickers. That was a thing to put on your suitcases. There's a foundation. It still exists. And it's been there since 1918. I think it's in Florida. I have traveled in 201 countries, and the strangest things I saw was man. Okay? He's a modern day Marco Polo, the birth of the believe it or not auditoriums. Okay? So while you look at that, I am going to paste all the goodness. A second. And we can just do the next 5 without stopping. Yeah, we're going to learn some fascinating trivia about him. I don't know with that. Nowadays everything is so corporate and file this document, file that document. I just like the organic, let's just say, development, or what's a fancy word, you know. I'm gonna talk about it. I almost did a spoiler alert, but just how it all came to be, and things like that don't happen anymore, and that part is kind of not fun. You know what I mean? It's like, I wonder if you can make a fortune doing that now. It's very hard to do. People like to steal ideas. Everyone was not that talented. Um, People were not on the same level as they are now. We all have the same opportunities, where back then only, let's just say, white men only had those opportunities. People don't realize that you can do all types of things, but it's they're locked in their mind. A lot of people, young, old, black, in the black culture, you're locked in your mind. You're locked into watching what other people are doing. You're not looking at your talents, thinking, what can I do with my talents? I was taught to look at my talents, not make somebody else's talent. Let's use Diana Ross. I did not idolize her. I celebrated her, listened to her music, but I turned it off. Then I celebrated me and my talents, and I went out in the world and developed my, goals and aspirations, just like Robert Ripley did. Nowadays, people are enthralled with other people and spend thousands and thousands of money buying their products, t-shirts, merch, thousands and thousands of dollars buying their music, their wigs, their eyelashes, their booties, their clothes, and won't donate the young black scientists any money to go to college. They've done a whammy. They did a whole nasty, let's just call it bamboozle on generations and generations of black people. We should have thousands of Washington carvers, or Carver Washingtons. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And it's very sad that we don't. Oh, that's corny. Oh, you went to school. You're dumb. Oh, you talk good. Sorry, George Washington Carver. I'm getting my words twisted up. It's a lot going on. Oh, that's dumb. Oh, you're a nerd. Oh, you're corny. Oh, you're not sexually uh, you know, uh you don't dress provocatively. You don't look like a thought, or you don't wear wigs, or you don't wear makeup. Yeah, it's sad. It's the culture died like 5 years ago. Yeah, because we should be really invested in science and invention and arts, natural talents that God gave us, and it's just lost. It's very rare I can have a conversation with someone that looks like me regarding stuff like this, unless they were my mother's age or older. Some my age, but then some of under that, it's lost. Oh, that's corny. Oh, that's dumb. Oh, that's stupid. Or that's not entertaining. Or it's not loud rap music talking about your sexual organs or your breasts or stuff like that. It's like, oh my God, I can't. So I seek out other cultures and other people that don't look like me, that I can sit and have a conversation with. It's very hard to find other Black people that want to talk about this stuff. And I'm not dying out. I'm not going anywhere. I embrace all of my knowledge, skills, and passions. So it is what it is. I guess it's gonna be. I'm a dying breed. I don't know. I don't get it. We had to convince somebody. We were at an event and we are like, oh, let's go look at the was it Ripley's? Believe it? It was a museum or something, and they didn't want to go. We were like, well, we'll pay for it. Just go and let's see all the oddities and curiosities. When I go to the library, I go on my own. Sometimes I'll go with groups of people and stuff, but not lately. Like I'll meet somebody or a cousin or somebody in town. It's like, come on, let's go. We'll do shopping. We'll go to Starbucks. We'll have lunch. We'll go to the library. We'll da da da. Well, library, yeah. Or let's go to a museum. The museum, yeah. It's very sad. It's sad. So I'm clinging on to my memories. I'm clinging on to the good stuff. I'm clinging on to science and art and entertainment and creativity. I will not give it up. Yeah, I'm not. I don't play video games. I don't play none of that crap because I don't get it. People make it a lifestyle, and it's just meant to be a recreation. Go out and entertain yourself. Yeah, look at all those people. And I asked my mom, I was like, well, did you guys get to go? Unfortunately, because of Jim Crow and all the other stuff, they were like, yes, of course we did. So, yeah, some place because they take your money. Okay. So it was a thing, the closest thing we have. And look, the Vegas from the 1980s is not the Vegas now, but it's the closest thing we have to oddities and curiosities. We still have zoos that are open next fall or fall, child. Next spring, we're gonna go to some zoos and things like that. But I wasn't comfortable during the pandemic. But yeah, there he is in 1932. There's a timeline over here, and I'm just showing you all the wonderful things that he was involved in. I think everybody's life should mirror this. My life does, sort of, kind of. And unfortunately, he did die of a heart attack because I bet you that was a lot. So yeah, here this is down below in the description box, and of course he interacted with celebrities in Hollywood and all of that stuff. And some of the buildings still exist. Yeah, I just don't understand why people aren't interested in stuff like that. I love it. It's a part of me, and it is what it is. Don't call yourself a name. Don't call me or nobody else I know a name, because I can definitely call somebody else out on some of this stuff because y'all be doing too much. I'm just trying to make sure I got all of these, you guys. Yep, before I go forward. Yeah, people, leave people alone. Leave little black girls and boys alone that are interested in science. Let them be let them don't, mess up the sorry, I'm getting rid of this stuff. Don't mess up their natural born curiosity and good path to science by exposing them to rap music or video games or smoking weed all day or sexualizing them. It just let them. I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. It's like, well, I know I did a good job with mine, but it's like I exposed them to everything and let them choose and taught them that isn't, you are not supposed to idolize uh, athletes, singers, dancers, actors, anything. That is for entertainment. You turn it off, then you focus on you and your passions, and your life comes before them. You don't supposed to idolize somebody that you'll never meet. That people working at McDonald's, but buy thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars playing video games for 8 hours a day. I don't get it. That is not progress. That is not culture. It is not. It's a trap. It's a trap. But here he is doing his famous column, All the Best. There are black cartoonists. There are black scientists. I know you won't be able to name any of them. Ask yourself. I should. And then do your research. Okay. So here's his famous article, believe it or not, 1948. And then he capitalized on it. Okay. And he sometimes he caused a lot of confusion. You'll read about it. I don't want to spoil it, but he said that Lindbergh was not the first man to cross the Atlantic, and turns out he was right. I'm gonna let you read about it. I'm gonna let you read about it. But that's when he found out. Oh, that was his niche. Okay. So that's Vanity Fair. I love Vanity Fair. I like to get it in print and online. I love to read their articles. So I won't do the spoiler alert. You let me know when you find out. Okay. So which ones do I want? Okay, let's look at his original auditorium, which is basically what? A museum. What do you want to call it? I don't know. Sort of like their version back then of video games, of excitement, of entertainment, of folly. Remember the follies overseas, the balls and things. You could dress up and go and participate in these wonderful things. And it's in St. Augustine, Florida. And it was between 1941 and 50. Okay. And that's where you could go see all of his collections, because he had to collect this stuff. He went around the world and collected all this stuff, brought it back, wrote about it, had a TV show about it, and displayed it. So he found a niche. Made a fortune. But unfortunately, yeah, he died. Okay, and there's his original. It's Believe It or Not Museum. Okay. And he didn't care. I like that part, believe it or not. He did a little twist on it. It was a little what we call nowadays a little clickbait. It just a little clickbait. But yeah, this is down below. Back then, their version of clickbait. And we will talk about circuses and things like that. So I'm just trying to go fast so it can be an hour and a half. I don't want to make it too long. All right. So 10 things you did not know about him. Now, this is sort of kind of a spoiler alert. But remember, I was telling you, go away. All these ads telling on me. I used to get, like I said, an antique newspaper in the mail, and I love it. So I'm going to try to find it. I don't think it was this one. It was something else. But this is antiquetrader.com. 10 things you didn't know about Leroy Robert Ripley. Okay? So I'm not going to read each of them. I'm just going to skim. So he grew up in Santa Rosa, California, and he played baseball. He traveled to New York in 1930 at the urging of his friend, writer Jack London. He tried out with the New York Giants, but after breaking his arm in a training game, that went away. So he became a full-time cartoonist. So he was an artist. He was paid $8 for his first commercial cartoon, Life magazine. Okay. And he never completed high school. That doesn't mean to drop out. He had a talent, and looks like he knew somebody, right? He was forced to drop out and work to help family because of his dad dying. So yeah, there was a reason. In the midst of the Great Depression, NBC was paying him $3,000 per half an hour radio show. Okay, so they were making money. He was making money off of sponsors and stuff. So he became very, very rich. Okay. After a 2-year run at the Chicago World's Fair, which drew more than 2 million visitors and earned $1 million, in 1933, he opened his first permanent auditorium. Okay. They said he was quite charming and popular. And you know what that means. He was probably, very busy in his social life. Okay. So you can read the rest. He started publishing his books in 1990 or 1929. That was the year my mom was born. So yeah. Okay. And in a Believe It or Not cartoon revealed the Star Spangled Banner wasn't the official national anthem. Because he would find out all these little twists and turns and what is and what isn't. And it would piss people off. And after he did that, the president signed the bill on March 3rd, 1931, making it the song. Because he kept finding these little, not mistakes, but I don't know, what ifs, what could be, and what's wrongs. You know what I mean? He was very clever at that. Sounded like just a very smart person. He loved to play handball. Okay. Oh, there's just some trivia. Okay. And this is the last thing before we do a little wait a minute. Okay, yeah. On this page is the last thing. In 1949, while filming the 13th episode of his television show, he collapsed and suffered a heart attack and died, I'll just say 3 days later. The subject of his final show is the military funeral song Taps. Now that's very, very creepy because I tell people if you're not on a military base or if you're not in a military family, I would not suggest to play the song Taps. If you've never heard it, it's just a thing. It's just taboo to play it. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Now, I don't know why that's there. Go away. This is a great website. Blueloop.com talks about where places to go visit. So museums, theme parks, zoos, aquariums, water parks, technology, and all other stuff. So here they talk about it more. The day he collapsed, May 27, 1949, believe it or not. And he was 60. So that was a good age. That was a good age to be, I'm sure he wanted to live longer, but I'm sure he was stressed out. He was a adventurer, and you can read more about it. Okay. Basically, it's kind of saying the same thing, but it gives you a lot more detail. Okay. And last but not least, what do I do every year regarding this topic? I try to make a little jar of something, or I try to remember and mimic without buying bodies and plastics and spraying and formaldehyde or water in jars, things like that. Get in a little mason jar, because every year, and I'm so glad, I'll probably start my subscription back up to Martha Stewart. Okay. She has the best Halloween ideas on planet Earth for you, me, and everybody else that likes to decorate. And it kind of harkens back to what we talked about, taxidermy, wet specimens. These are x-rays. You just put in a jar, and when it's done, you take it out the jar and use the jar, fill it up with, Christmas candy. And I'm like, I'm doing that. So next year, I'm going to do this. So they say for this project, you'll need to curate your collection of creepy crawly critters. The specimens we selected are reptiles, amphibians, and insects, and they're all eerie and da-da-da-da. These are real x-rays printed on clear, heavy-duty plastic and will something and flicker from a flameless tea light. So it says, what do you need? X-ray cards, and you can get those on Amazon. Now, all I got to do is click there. I clicked it. Jars and battery-operated voltives. Okay? So that is so cool. So I'm going to take my picture so I can remind myself next year. Shout out to Martha Stewart. Every year, I love her Halloween magazine. It's probably too late to grab one now. I don't need it now. Next year, because the little fella will be, we can get it and plan it and look at the pictures and go, oh, what are we going to do next? But I love Martha Stewart during Halloween because you get all the fun ideas, and I am definitely a Martha Stewart fan. Always have been. That's how I am at home. I'm Martha Stewart. I am. God rest B. Smith's soul. She was my black Martha Stewart, but she's since passed away. But I love her magazine. I love her website, and this will always live down below in this video. Thank you. We did it. That's the end of number 27. Taxidermy, Robert Ripley, and wet specimen. So isn't that a better alternative? Because I might have one or two. Now I'm going, you know what I'm doing? I'm making my copy of this. So when I make this available, it's down below in the description box. But that's more better, especially a 4-year-old. Yeah, give me a break. You gotta be careful. So that's a better alternative. And then you can get creative. Just buy a skeleton of something and put it in a jar or on the shelf. Like I have you'll see it on Halloween. No spoiler alerts. But yeah, when I saw it, I went, Ooh, yay. So that'll be my ode to this, you know, episode, and you'll see it. But yeah, I don't want stuffed animals. I don't want stuffed that or that. But the bones are more, uh, let's just say Halloweeny and scary and ghoulish. So yeah, I bought something that I'm looking at right now. Oop, that's the chair. That ain't nothing else. Turning. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. And when I saw it, give me a second. You're not going to see it until you see my decoration. When I saw it, I was like, oh, it's perfect. I love it. And then they had, I won't say what it is in my hand. You'll see it. But then they had another one. And I said, okay, I'll give it a day because I didn't want to spend $15 for it. I said, and if it's there, I get it. And then I came back, it was gone. I was like, okay, good. No, this is it. This is it. This is it. It's so cute. We're going to give it a name and everything. Thank you, Hearts of Gold. That is number 27 in the books. I appreciate you so, so much. Please, if you are new here, thank you for being here. Hit the subscribe button. I'm working on my 3,000. Why not? We got a lot of things going on. You have lots of choices when you come over to my channel. All you have to do is hit the playlist. I don't do subliminals. You know exactly what's in a video or the topic. And share if you have a community board. Shout out to Google, and I don't know who decided to give folks community tabs. You don't have to have 1,000 people to have a community tab. Good for them. Shout out to everybody that's getting a community tab. Okay? But we are working on our 3,000 subscribers, and I appreciate your subscription. Thank you, new members. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yes, we are working in real time. Shout out to the future and beyond, our 100 subscribers. I appreciate you so much. This is so much fun. And I can't wait for Halloween. Thank you so much. Have a good night. And until I see you next time, hit all the reminder buttons on the upcoming shows. Okay. Bye.